Hello everyone, welcome to Buckeyes Homestead. Hopefully you can see me. I'm finally doing my last wall. Well, second to last wall, but last major wall. And then after this it'll be plumbing. I may not get through all this tonight. I only got so much time, and then I've gotta get ready to go to work tomorrow. It's late in the evening, but I'm just going to go ahead and get started here and just get cranking. And sorry for the long delay of not putting out videos. I really do get super busy. Yeah, there's nothing difficult about this wall. It's basically, I don't know if you can see it or not. So it's not this wall, but it's the sister wall of this wall. It's going to go on the other side of these stairs right here. And then, and these stairs is going to be where the walkway down to the basement. So that's the last one I'm doing. And then the final wall, which will be really simple, I won't record that, will be the door. That's just door jamb and jacks, is all that is. I'm stepping out of the picture because I need to get a square to do this last wall. just in case you've never built a wall, all I do is just go 16 on center. I'm just going, because I have another video out like this, but I just go 3/4 from the end, I put a nail in, and then from my 3/4 I go 16, 32, 48, what is it, 54, what is it, 70, and 86, and so forth. I just go 16 on center, and then I just mark the X off to the left, because basically that's where my nail is. That's how you can remember, just to go to nail. And then sometimes what I'll do, just to make it clear, because when you're starting to throw these together, you're doing it so fast, sometimes it's hard to see the pencil mark. I like to use like a permanent marker just for making clarity, because sometimes I get going so fast that, and I've done it, and I'm sure other people have done it, and I put it on the wrong side of the line just because I think that's where it should go. But you know, when you separate these, it's a lot harder to see, and especially like this board, it's not exactly the cleanest board, if that makes sense. So it's harder to see your lines sometimes. Not a big deal though. There's nothing special about this one. It's just basically put the studs up and put the studs in and put the studs on it. So nothing crazy. Yeah, I just, on a side note, not to keep talking, but, I got a bid today from, running the electric basically from the pole. And I guess you really wouldn't know because you can't really see like what the distance is and stuff like that. But, I thought the bid was really, really high. Basically, they gave me a bid. Basically, all I'm gonna have them do. Let me go back. So there's electric already ran to the garage, and now I'm trying to get electric to the house. This electric company, I'm not gonna name any names. I guess that's a big no-no. You can't do that on public forums. But they, I need to make sure this is right. I need to make sure my walls are right on the right side. Yeah, let's turn this over. Sorry, I'm getting scatterbrained. Trying to do two things at once. Basically, so I have electric already. I did that electric job myself, but this time I wanted to have someone else do it because there's already electric to the property, I don't want to lose electric. I basically wanted someone to do the final connections instead of myself, and because I already have electricity, but they so basically the distance to the house to that pole that needs electric is going to be buried. It is going to be about maybe 30 feet, I would say. I'm guessing from the pole. Yeah, that's probably about right. And then run that 30 feet. So this is all they're going to do, is just run that trench 30 feet line, put a pipe in there, put a 4x8 sheet plywood in the basement, put a box up, and then put a for our area, and my understanding is not area needs this, but for our area, you have to have a disconnect right after the electric. Like as soon as you terminate the electric inside the meter box, you have to have a disconnect right, like literally within feet of that disconnect. And then from that disconnect, you have to run pipe into the house. And that's the pricing and the box. So they're going to hook it up all the way to the box. It's 200 amp service, which I think the wire is 4 double aught, I think, if I remember right. And the quote was almost $5,500 for that. I just think that's extremely high. I got a year, when I was putting the electric in for the garage, a guy gave me a quote of $4K to do both the garage and the house, and I wish I would have had the money, because that definitely was the way to go. I didn't know at the time, and also at the time I didn't really have the funds. It was so expensive just to get electric on this property to begin with. I mean, from the pole to my pole, I had to buy a pole, and then to run some electric underground, and then buy all the stuff that I needed. It was close to $10K when everything was set up and done outdoor. And that's even with me doing part of the work. So it was very expensive. And I don't know, I just wish I probably would have had that guy do it now, because it would have been so much cheaper. All I would have to do is just do my disconnect, but I don't know. It's really hard to say what the right thing is to do and what the wrong thing is to do now. It's neither here nor there. I mean, there was nothing here when the house was built, so I don't even know like where he would have put the lines at. But I guess that's another story for another day. So I am going to need to do this wall. I'm going to need 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 studs. I'll try and not do that. entire construction of this house, and I haven't really had any major issues with it at all. I will say, I tell you that one of the things I do have is, if you get into some weird angles with the gun, sometimes it doesn't want to, it misfires. But like 90% or 95% of the time, I would say it's great. Like if you put it in normal positions, you're not going to have any problems. It's like when you're in a weird position that probably the nail gun's not meant to be in a weird position, you know, that's probably why it misfired, because basically it's upside down, and or it's, you know, or you're upside down trying to put a nail in, and you're trying to do typically you're trying to do 2 or 3 things at once. You can't hold the gun and your part or whatever the board at the same time. And of course, that's when it loves to misfire. And then you're mad saying things that you shouldn't say. You know what I mean? This is a pretty straight board. I'm going to put this at the end. Down here. I like putting my straight boards on the ends, if I can. And then boards that have like really nasty bows or curves, or some of the boards that I have are they're like not even straight. Like the cut, like I've seen them where they'll have like a curve and they'll come in and out like this. I'm like, what the heck? How did that even happen? Who knows? It's probably part of the drying process, I'm assuming. Here's another straight board I'm going to keep out. Yeah, let's use this. Too is one of the things I've learned to do, and it's probably not common practice to do it this way, is get these things off the floor and put them up on stands, and that way you're not killing your back to do this. I would not advise doing this with the outside walls, though. I would not advise doing that at all. And I just thought about that. Those walls are way too heavy for you to do something like that. And if you try to do that, you probably would cause yourself a lot of headaches to do that. So I would not recommend doing that. If you're doing like 2x6 plus headers. Interior walls, fine. You can do this with interior walls. These walls aren't heavy at all. But exterior walls, always use 2x6s and hefty headers. Don't ever use headers less than you need. I always like the term to overbuild. Like if you overbuilt something, then you're never going to have to do it again. But if you underbuild it, well, guess what? In 5 to 10 years, you're going to have to do it again. And I say, let's not be like the Chinese. Let's build stuff to last. But don't tell corporate America that. Speaking of things built to last, is there anything that's really built to last anymore? I mean, it seems to me like everybody's just trying to build it as cheaply as possible anymore. They're not trying to build things to last. If you know what I mean. I don't know what it is. It's just, well, I'm not going to mention another YouTube channel's names, but they brought up a good point. It's basically greed. You know, it's these corporations trying to do the best that they can for their investors. And the investors, all they care about is just profits. That's all they care about. They just, I mean, at least that's what it is. And then when it comes to employees, they just see you as an expense and not someone that adds value to the company. Sadly, that's how corporate America really is. I don't think it should be that way, but I'm not in a position, and yes, I do work in corporate America, but I'm not in a position to make those decisions. I would say if I had my own company, I would definitely change the things that, how things are made and how to build things and take care of my people that work for me. It's very rare to find companies that actually want to take care of their people. I mean, especially as bigger they get. The bigger the company gets, the less likely they are to take care of their people. That's when they get bigger, and let's just say I work for some of the biggest companies in this world, and I'm speaking from experience when I say this. And one of the things that I've learned is, like, if you go against the grain, so to speak, and say, hey, I don't think that's right, or whatever the case may be, what they'll do is they'll try to find a way to justify firing you, and then they'll, because they know, like, if they fire you, you have little to no recourse on what you can do. I mean, it's very difficult to sue your employer for wrongful termination. And if you do, it's very, very expensive. And you're the one that has to prove, if you go to court, you have to prove what they did. And you have to spend all this money, like we're talking like, probably at least tens of thousands of dollars, because you have to go to federal court to do employee type cases, employee and employer, and it's just not. And then, if you're doing this like with a national company, you're definitely going to make news, especially if it's one of the top 5 companies in this world. You're definitely going to make news if you file a lawsuit, and it's just like you're going to be basically excommunicated is what you're going to have. What's going to happen? I mean, I'm just being plain and honest. You're going to be kicked out, and no company's going to want to hire you because they just see you as a liability. They don't see you as a value. They see you as a liability, which is sad. I mean, it shouldn't be like that, but it is. That really is the way the cookie crumbles. So, and sometimes what I'm getting at is sometimes you just have to pick your battles. Like, or do you want to, like, sometimes it's just better off to go on in life and just say, okay, I don't think this is a battle worth pursuing right now. I'm actually going to go to the other side here. I'm getting kind of wonky here with my things. The problem with the way of doing this is I'm going to have to start hooking these up here, because what happens is these get unstable when you have them up here like this, and they don't want to stay. Like, they want to drop down, like this one right here. Just wants to drop down. You don't want that. So now I need to come on this side and start nailing them over here. Make sure I'm good on my marks. I guess I should kind of watch what I say on YouTube. My channel isn't that popular right now anyhow, so it probably won't matter. Oh, by the way, on the other side, I forgot to say I was screwing that one end because the lower board there was twisted, and sometimes to get them to be true, if that makes sense, sometimes you have to get screws and try to clamp them together. Sometimes it'll be so bad that I'll have to take a board and screw it into the side of a stud, and then take a clamp and literally force them to go, made up together, because it's so twisted that there's not a whole lot I can do other than doing that. And I've been successful in doing that. you're enjoying the videos or these videos I'm putting out, just leave a comment below. I do try to answer all comments. If I don't respond to you right away, it's just because life is getting in the way, and I just get super busy. But I do try to respond, or at least if I don't respond, at least, leave a like or something like that, saying, hey, I like your comment, or whatever the case may be. Now I have a board that is not flush against this bottom of the stud. So I'm going to take a screw and try to see if I can get it flush. This is where sometimes, and I know, don't get me wrong, I know that these lumber companies are not putting out the best products in the world, but from my experience, if you get good lumber, you find someone that has good lumber, even though it's a little bit more money, it saves you time. If you don't have to sit there and do this stuff. I mean, if you're building a house like I am, it takes a lot of time to fix stuff. And if you're in a time crunch, then that's what you gotta do. I mean, and also too, is I've learned that better quality lumber is also easier to work with. Where if you have, and I'm not saying like there's not any good lumber at Lowe's or Home Depot, because there is times where they do have some pretty decent lumber in there, and it's fairly good priced. But a lot of times, these mom and pop lumber places will have better lumber. And the reason that these, carpenters and everybody else, the reason they stay in business is because these, the lumber is just so much easier to work with. Because I used to think that before I started building my house, that lumber was lumber. I mean, I don't know, it's just, but even then, sometimes I will say this, even then, if you do pay extra for the lumber, sometimes it isn't always the greatest either, or whoever picked your lumber for you, they just did a really crappy job and gave you like some crap lumber. cases like this where the lumber will just stay right in place wherever you put it. I love those. Then I don't have to do much of anything. Now this one is kind of twisted. I have to get my tool out. I might have to call quits here pretty soon, guys. I have to. So just so you know, I work full time, and I'm doing this full time as well. It really seems like I never have time to really do anything. There we go. And so sometimes I get sleep deprived, and but it is what it is. So I'm gonna check the time right now. Yeah. Well, I'll keep going. I think I still got a little bit more time left. Might try to get this wall actually built and then call it quits. So, at the time of this recording, it's in December really. It's January 2026. And it's January 2026. And I just want to see at least today, different board here. Thing has a bad crack right in the middle. Anyways, what I was getting at is, oh, that one has bad crack too. Well, that stinks. Check. Probably is okay. See, I know I have extra boards. Let me see. Yeah, this should work. What do you guys think? I want to go back to that quote. What do you guys think about that? You think that quote's out of line? Is that in line? I honestly think it's really high, but I don't know. To be honest. a comment below. Let me know what you think about that. $5,500 to run electric. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is not quite nice. Get a little low on this one, but also too, another thing that I've kind of learned as I'm going along the way is like when you're building these walls out, you got to make sure that your drywall has, or when you're building these walls, that you have places to put your drywall. So like say you have a corner and you got, or where there's supposed to be a corner anyhow, and according to the plans, and you don't have a board there, or you don't have nothing to screw into, you gotta make sure that you put something there for the boards to either screw into or nail into or whatever you're going to do, because you can't get a tight wall, or well, you can't really put drywall into a thin air, if that makes sense either, if you get what I'm saying. You gotta make it connect somehow. I'm gonna try and do a trick on this last one so I don't have to move it. Something I've learned. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. It's kind of tricky to do, but you basically have to get one board clamped in there. You're basically using this clamp as a place to put your board on, essentially. And then you go down to the other side and you nail this side while this is being held up by the board down there. But it doesn't always work out like that. Because then you have to fight with the clamp to get in there, maybe. I might put it on too tight. Come on. Quit being stubborn. There we go. And then you just clamp it really tight. Hold this up. Come down here. Make sure it's flush. Make sure it's flush everywhere, and then just bam, put your nails in there. Who says you need a flat surface to put a board on? And you come down here, you just leave this one right here, attach it, and make sure it's flush. And then put one nail in it at least, and then unclamp it. Simple as that. Oh, that was flush. Oh, by the way, what I was getting at with the weather, I'm starting to hear the wind pick up. So today, it was close to 50 degrees. It might have been warmer than that, I really don't know. I was inside most of the day. And it's still relatively warm tonight. Well, it's supposed to get super cold, I think, tomorrow. So if it's not lined up, just so you know, if you want, you can take a hammer, you can actually manipulate it to go flush. I don't know how I got it to go off unless I just nailed it at an angle. And then now it's flush. So you take your second nail, you just go in here like this, bam, done. So yeah, what I was getting at with the weather, now I can hear the wind starting to pick up outside. And all I'm running, I know you can't see this, I don't want to move you off that stand that I have you there on the camera. But anyways, maybe at the end of the camera or end of the filming I'll do it. I just have one heater running in here tonight, and it's just a propane heater. It's not like a 80 BTU. It's like, I think, like 35 or 40 BTU heater, and that's all it's heating this inside. I do have 3 more basically torpedo heaters. One downstairs is massive, but the thing is with that massive one, it drinks the fuel. I mean, it drinks the fuel. It'll warm up this whole entire house fast. I mean, even if I just leave it down there and run it, which I have done it, it'll heat up this whole entire house. Like, probably within 2 hours. Nothing else helping it. And that's on a cold, cold day. Yeah, that amazes me. Alright, so I'm gonna plant it. It's probably come off. Maybe. Or maybe not. Now I'm gonna slide it down. Oh, what I was getting back with the weather. It's supposed to get down to the teens tomorrow night. I think mid to low teens maybe. And then it's supposed to be cold for 2 days. And then I think it's supposed to warm back up after that. Around here, the wind is the worst. The wind will start picking up. And see, I lived in different parts of Ohio. When I lived up north, well, with the exception of Toledo. Toledo was, that was lake effect wind. I would say that. But when I lived like in the middle of the state, like up north, like Bellevue and Tiffin and those places there, they didn't have, at least when I was growing up or living there, they didn't have hardly any wind at all. Now it's like, now I'm living here, it's like, we get like gale force winds sometimes. It's crazy. I think this year we had 50-mile-an-hour winds here at one time, and just recently. I have heard in Kansas and other places that it gets pretty bad out there too, as far as wind goes, but I always thought of those as being like always windy out there anyhow, so. Might have to just manually move these things over. Topple on me. Easier way. I don't know why I didn't do this before. Gotta trap myself in here. called like a third leg. That makes sense. Also, another reason why I wasn't recording as much lately is I just had I don't even know what caused it, just had a real bad injury with my knee, and my knee was causing me lots and lots of pain. I don't know exactly why, or what even started it. I do know I got issues with that knee, and I probably need to get it checked out by a doctor, but I'm trying to get the house done as well. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with it. I may need surgery on it, because in the past it was a work-related incident where I got hurt really bad, and my knee is never been the same after that. To this day, I can't run or, like if you're playing basketball defense or something like that, I can't shuffle my feet very well. It just causes me too much pain. So that's kind of why I don't, what I'm getting at is I'm in a lot of pain. I really don't feel like recording, if that makes sense. Because I'm probably in a bad mood. I shouldn't say a bad mood, but a mood that isn't very pleasing, if that makes sense. What I'm trying to say. And I'm not sure if my knee will ever get better. The only thing I know is that I can think of that they could do, and I really haven't sought medical advice, is either replace the knee, which I've already had surgery once on that knee, and I don't want to have surgery again. So, my problems is when I have surgeries, I tend to gain a lot of weight. Every single time I have a surgery, I always tend to gain like 100 pounds or something like that, especially when it has to do with my legs. If it has to do with my legs, I'll probably gain at least 50, 60 pounds. So, and it seems like it doesn't matter what I do, I still gain that amount of weight. And I think it's because I just not able to move very easily. But then I love it when, now I know not all doctors do this, but I love when I've heard people saying, like, if you have like a knee issue or if you want to get a knee replacement, you have to be like a certain weight, otherwise the doctor won't give you the knee surgery. So if you don't weigh like a certain weight, you're not going to get surgery. I think that's dumb, because I'm like, well, if you want the person to lose weight, wouldn't it be better than me that so they can move more easily? I mean, if that's the case, I don't know. I really don't know what the deal is. I'm not a doctor, but then at the same time, we have foods that, well, there's just a lot of junk going in our foods. There's not, for the average American, there's not much we can do. Except for maybe, the only thing I can think of that you could plausibly do is grow your own food. If you're an average American, I think that's the only thing you can do, is grow your own food. And you know, if you can do it, do meat too. But doing any type of meat requires slaughtering of the animal, and you gotta be okay with doing that mentally and seeing blood. I'm not opposed to that, but I will say this from experience that slaughtering animals, or not slaughtering, but you know, cutting off their carcass and everything else is a lot more work than what people make it out to be. And it's messy. It is extremely messy. For me, if I was going to do any type of animals, it would either be chicken or rabbits, because it's less work. And if you kill a rabbit or a chicken, they're not that heavy to carry back to your vehicle, versus a bear or a deer that weighs hundreds of pounds. I know people that even hunt squirrel. Now, I'm not a fan of eating squirrel. I don't think I would want to eat squirrel, to be honest, but I guess if I was hungry enough, I probably could. Check the time, guys. All right, well, I'm gonna have to call. I'm gonna take it off of here. Sorry if you see me shaking. But here's what I'm using for heating tonight. This is it. That's all I'm using. Still have lots of ways to go. Right here, just to show you, this is the wall right here on the left-hand side of this opening is the one I'm working on right now. You can see I I don't know if you can see the line or not. But there's a line there on the floor. It'll go right there in the floor, and then there'll be a door here. And this will be my last wall. And then after this, I'll go on to plumbing. And hopefully plumbing won't take that long. At least I'm hoping not, but we'll see. You have to be very, very technical on plumbing. But I'm going to end this, guys, tonight. I have to get to bed, honestly. I'm going to close this out. I thank you for watching. Just hope you guys have a great evening, and hope you guys have a happy new year, and a blessed new year as well. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching.